who claim to be new. None of them is new anyway. To be patriotic. None is patriotic. And they say they belong to a party. Now you can see whether it's really a party. I've worked with them long before I joined politics in 1992. It was when I started my active practice in Accra here in 1983. I started it. From the Achim chambers. That's where I started my legal practice in 1983. Achim chambers. And that time I was the only person of the northern extraction practicing in Accra. And I met almost all their leaders. We did cases together, even my lecturer, a brilliant late Darocha. We did 2 cases, and luckily I won both. And so he started respecting me. And if you really had time to read the book written by Nana Dr. S.K.B. Asante, you get to understand why the Ghana Law School has been taking over. Yes, I said it. The decision of the Supreme Court just followed the position I took before even they delivered their decision. To become a member of parliament, you have to be elected by the voter. And you have to be declared by the Electoral Commission. But you have to be sworn in by the Speaker. Until you are sworn in by the Speaker, you remain MP elect. So I was very clear in my mind that some of those re-collation and re-declaration were completely null and void ab initio. They were unknown to the law. And so they were not properly so-called MPs elect and not qualified to be sworn in by me. My clerk is here. We had those discussions. When I told them, they were all surprised. I said, yes, I'm the gatekeeper. The right thing must be done for us to be able to reset Ghana. And so this recognition, I tell you, is going to do more than what I have done. I want to take this opportunity to highly commend all members of Pro Forum for the unwavering belief, commitment, and tireless investment in facilitating the return of the NDC to power. As my communication boss just told you, I was very clear in my mind that if we hadn't given them a resounding thrashing, there would be a serious contest as to who won, and they would not have been prepared to hand over power to any person, as they told us. And I learned this in 2001, when we first went into opposition. And the veteran Honorable Joseph Henry Mensah, J.H. Mensah, told the world that by the time they finish prosecuting and imprisoning the leaders of NDC, there will be no party called NDC. And that was the time I challenged him. I was minority leader. He was then leader of government business. And that was the first point I gave them. That you learned nothing. You people are only copy clerks. That term you took from Osagyefo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah when he was made leader of government business in 1952. And now, look at you. 2001, you have taken that term as leader of government business. When in Parliament, we are using the term minority and majority. We are not using the term government and opposition. That is what is used in the United Kingdom. And that's why you have leader of government business. Because it's government, and then you have opposition. And so you have one side sitting on benches. That's why you have the term backbenchers, because they are sitting on benches. Then the other side, to the right, another to the left. And that's where you have the term cross-carpeting. Because you have to go to the other side, there's a carpet in between. And so you have to cross that carpet to go to the other side. That's where the word came from, cross-carpeting. And so, even though we are not operating that system, the only thing that they've learned, and you can, my friends, my brothers, they are chimps, you know, we eat dogs together, so. They are my brothers, they are my sisters, and as I told you, that's where we enjoy together. And as one of their councils, there are chim chambers, where, you know, when you are presenting them in court, you go from the district court to the Supreme Court, or else they won't give up. Oh yes, when you are doing a case for an achim, you don't give up. You start from the district court, you have to go to the Supreme Court. So I had a lot of work to do in those days, and I really moved with them. Very good people who took me as just a junior, and I rose up to become a partner in that Achim Chambers before leading our colleagues to establish the Law Trust Company. I was the senior most of that team, the 2 years senior to Lara JT and the Chichu Opoku. So we established that firm. It's still operating nicely there. And so I knew them very, very well, and I managed to destroy J.H. Mensah. So he was immediately reshuffled. Because I used those terms, and he couldn't operate again. And they had to bring in Papa, OWUSU, and Kuma. And we had some debates. It didn't also last. And they brought in Felix, OWUSU Ajapon, who was called the great leader. He couldn't also last. And then they brought Honorable Abraham Osei Edu. All this faced me, and I was there as the Northern Star for 8 years. So, this boy is not today's Babino. I want to highly commend all of you, really. You have done very, very, very well. And I've followed your efforts and the sacrifices that you have all made for us to reach this far. Your efforts, your strategic guidance, and your unyielding support have played an indispensable role in this monumental achievement. You have been one of the backbones of our party's resurgence. And for that, we owe you a great debt of appreciation. And I want to thank you for your faith, your dedication, and hard work. Faith in the great NDC party. That is the only party that can liberate and develop Ghana. Let me just reflect a bit on the challenges we faced in the 8th Parliament. More importantly, how we were able to navigate the intricacies of a hung parliament. The numerous complexities that confronted us. Here, the culture of governance knew nothing but majority and minority. And there was the cliche, the minority will have its say, but the majority will have its way. So the rules of the game, which we refer to as the standing orders, were crafted that way. It was very easy to take decisions. As we used to say when we were in the minority, we used to win the debate, but we lost the votes. And in fact, the various ambassadors that came to listen to the debate will often come to my office to say that, well, you've won the debate, but you've lost the vote. And that is what was known in Ghana. And here we are now, no majority party and no minority party. Co-equal parties in parliament. With one person who had rebelled against his party, and that stone was rejected, now became the cornerstone of the party. And therefore, I had to give a ruling where I refer to as a majority group. Our party didn't like the term majority group, but people kept on saying majority party. I never said majority party. I said majority group. And because of that one person, they now had more than our party that had 137. But most of the times, they are not in parliament. The nature of governance, to start with, there's no way that you can be a minister of state and be in your ministry and at the same time be on the floor of parliament. It's not possible. Or be in the US and also be in Ghana. Or you are chasing activities in a constituency or in a region, and there's something being debated in parliament. There's no way you can vote. So we have the government agenda so much imperiled. And here I was a strong member of the party not in government. And I am elected the speaker. And by culture and practice, I'm to be impartial, not neutral. Impartial, not neutral. I learned that from the Right Honorable Peter Agye. So it wasn't easy at all. And I know the disagreement I had from my party, but I stuck to my gun because I was in the kitchen. You are all seeing from outside. We had to be sure that we maintained peace and harmony. We had to be sure that there was a semblance of governance going on, but we have to strategize to make sure that we get a better government in place. And I think that with your help, we have succeeded in doing that. It was a time that really tested our democratic principles and our commitment to service. As Speaker, it was my responsibility to ensure that the voices of all Ghanaians were heard, that debates were fair, and that every member had the opportunity to contribute meaningfully to the decision-making of the House. So I had to quickly get the parliamentary service.
Let's